I need to be honest first. I'm not a parent. I found this journey's quite an interesting journey, and I want to tell you how it began. So I was at uni. I was still at uni, and I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get the train on time. Now, unfortunately, the uni time is quite different. So by the time I finished, I was all waiting for the train. Welsh trains are fantastic. They're always late. They're old. They're trying to update it all, but they're basically terrible. Here lies the problem. 2 carriages, 50,000 people trying to get on them. We got on the train, and there's a problem. And the problem is there's a young lad riding up and down the train being really naughty. I can't stress this enough how painful it is as a non-parent to witness that. We haven't developed your superpower yet. We can't turn this off. We have to live with that problem. The problem was solved. The ultimate weapon of mass distraction. The mother gave the child a tablet, and he stopped. He was no longer this rabbit run up and down the train. He was mesmerised by this tablet. I thought, is this some kind of special app? Is this game that I could try and force other parents to download? Do a campaign to make my life easier? No. I asked them. I don't know. It's his tablet. For me, from a non-parent, that's a really shocking tale, because how does they not know what's the child playing? I've done some research. A little bit about me. I love cows. I love forest walks. I love my dog. It's his birthday today. So if you have any sandwich meats or lettuce, he loves lettuce, just put it in my bag. It's only weird if you make it weird, but it's for him. So doing my research, I found some interesting facts. I didn't believe them at first, but I double fact checking. I put some references there as well. That's an interesting fact. For me, I'm 32, 33. When we had tablets, we didn't have tablets when we was kids. We had Nokia 3210s, brick phones, black and white screens with snakes. We never had access to the technology the kids have now. You see that a lot of young kids have their own social media. And at first I thought, okay, that makes sense. The parents are building profiles of the kids, that kind of stuff, post family pictures for people abroad. But then when you look at this other statistic, which is another fact, who is in control of this device? Well, 20% of the 3-year-olds, it's the 3-year-olds that own them. I've talked to many people throughout the world, through America, Nigeria, Europe. This is not an uncommon thing. Technology is so readily available to them now, they have access to the resources we never could. That's another interesting fact as well. This changed around the COVID times, but it's not changed back. So it's here to stay. Is technology with children a bad thing? There's a global demand for tech roles, for cyber roles. Children now can do things that we'd never believe. I spoke to an individual earlier who his child can open his parents' phone. The child's 3 years old. He admitted he helped train him, but that's something to figure out as well. We need to get comfortable with technology. AI, other buzzwords, they're here to stay. We see ownership escalate around secondary school age, but it's still very high in young children. From 6-year-olds, and it peaks to 13-year-old. There's a ginormous wave of technology being added to the child's life. Brilliant. So we're all aware that kids now are getting tablets, getting phones, they're getting access to the internet, they're making their own social media accounts, their own game accounts. But what's really happening? Well, shockingly, TikTok's on the rise. Before the rise of TikTok, kids would watch a lot of YouTube, but then make content for TikTok. You see the global hours, global minutes, 107 minutes daily, globally, is the average that people and children are on TikTok. Snapchat's becoming more popular. Is that a good thing, though? An app which allows predators to hold information and victims to have no evidence? I think not. That's my personal opinion. On the fall. Facebook's on the fall. There's been a big push with Instagram trying to claw back young audience, but it's definitely TikTok's on the rise. So that's just games and other sites. Well, it's our apps and sites, for example. Games is very important. I love games. I don't know if anyone remembers this game at all. Yeah? Yeah, so old school RuneScape. Everyone knows this. It's been around forever. I loved it. I actually learned a lot of life lessons from it. I recognised how to identify scams from a young age. How technology works. So I learned how press Alt and F4 would shut a window before I even learned it in the real world. I learned it through the game. Interacting with these games and learning about them is very important. The skills we learn at a young age can define what scams we fall for in the future. A lot of people still fall for this scam here. Is it because they didn't learn that lesson there? This is the game of the century for young children. Has anyone heard of this game? You heard all the great things about it, right? You heard how addicted it is. You've heard how much revenue it makes. You've heard how it can create an isolating environment for children.
I'm extremely disgusted at what I just found in the Roblox.
Does the sound go through there? Oh, you can hear it, okay.
I'm extremely disgusted at what I just found. I'm extremely disgusted at what I just found in the Roblox community. I started off in a roleplay server that was accessible from the main Roblox application. Didn't say anything about an age restriction. After joining that roleplay server, I received a direct message that told me to join this chat application. They say they do not allow anyone under the age of 18 to be in the server. The main Roblox application doesn't allow you to speak this way, but when you join these private communities, you can see horrible things like this. Here's another very strange server that's accessible directly from the Roblox homepage. If you were unaware, like I was, about these sub-communities that exist within a children's application or Roblox condos, I would look further into it, ask your children if they know what it is, and they need to know that it's okay, in my opinion, to tell you that stuff like this is happening. So stay safe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments.
So before we had a digital world where everyone can see what you was up to, like RuneScape, you had different servers, you could ping your friends, you had moderators running around the community. But now there's games where it almost encourages people to make their own worlds within them. Is there enough moderator for every world? If things like this can happen, that's a problem. We're going to talk about a lot of problems. We all know about cyberbullying. We know about online predators. We know about privacy problems. We know about digital footprint, putting information out of the world that's forever there. We hear about radicalisation every so often with the likes of Andrew Tate. Do we hear about inappropriate content? I don't know if you remember, but when you buy a game, there's actually age requirements on the game. That's often quite ignored. This is an interesting one that's been ignored. He's very good. Potential world tramp. So why is a 3-year-old playing a game meant for 18-plus-year-olds? I mean, it's easy to blame the parents. But do we look at the titles now? Do we look at age 18? When I was growing up, I was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas when I was 8 years old or something like that. Privacy. We hear a lot about privacy. We hear about a lot of these big companies getting sued. Do you hear about what the children are thinking, though? 50% of the children are saying that parents should ask permission before they put photos and documents online. Parents, you don't have to raise your hand. Your silence be enough. Do you ask your children every time you post a picture of them?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Unfortunately, you're one of the very few. There's a darker side we need to talk about. I don't actually want to talk about it though, but we should know about it. I get a bit upset about this. It's easy to talk about figures and statistics, but what we do really does matter. We're giving these kids access to all these tools at an early age. We're opening a world where they can communicate whenever they want. Are we talking about cybersecurity awareness? Are we helping them in any way? So, a lot of parents I talk to from America are saying, they're learning in school. Got friends in Nigeria saying, they're learning in school. England? Yeah, they're learning in school. They're not learning in school. To understand how to solve the problem, we need to break it down. Time and money. In terms of time for a curriculum, there's very little dedicated to cybersecurity or IT or computing in general. It ranges from school to school. It can be an average of 2 hours a fortnight. When we talk about security, I'm talking about IT. And when I'm talking about IT, I talk about they're teaching them about how to make PowerPoint presentations. They're teaching them a password should be 8 characters long. All outdated stuff. We like to talk in the world that, in the digital world, in cybersecurity specific, that we need to keep updated. Curriculums take a very long time to update. There's an echo chamber where people making decisions don't necessarily get all the answers and all the solutions. Money. Now this is an important one. I spoke to a school 2 weeks ago with the Cyber First. Their equipment is 10 years old. Their laptops, their computers are 10 years old. I don't want to go to the political reasons, but we can kind of understand why when we look at that statistics. There's not enough money in being invested in the youth. The workforce. There's not enough skilled teachers to talk about cybersecurity with kids. Another conversation I had the other day was a PE teacher saying that he's among one of 35 PE teachers. I spoke to one of my friends. He's doing a computer science PCG. He's 2. So 35 PE teachers, 2 science teachers. It could be the money. Let's be honest. There's a high-paying cybersecurity roles that 6 figures plus being advertised around the world. Boot camps, this. Teaching. What do you have to deal with? You have to deal with abuse. I was an ex-teacher. You have to deal with abusive children, abusive parents. You have to deal with the politics in the office. That's a really hard world to deal with. You want to inspire kids. You want to help them, but the workforce stops you doing that. Parents. Is it right to assume that the kids are learning everything at school? there is an argument to that. I mean, we learn about cell membranes, we learn about red blood cells, we learn about 1 + 1 is 2. So why would a parent not assume they learn about cybersecurity in school? Again, when I was a kid, I was told we'd never have carry around a calculator in our entire life. We'd never have any tools like this. We'd have to learn long division. We'd have to show our workings out. Yeah, they're a little bit wrong there. There's a lot of problems. Money is one of the biggest factors. Having people being aware of the problem is a big factor. Much like cybersecurity attacks, you don't want to advertise there's a problem. The government doesn't want to advertise there's a problem. They're not going to shout out to the world that we don't have enough teaching staff, we don't pay enough, we don't offer the schools enough support. They don't advertise the budget cuts. But there are solutions, and there are some really, really good solutions. The laws are changing. This is really a recent one, actually. Making sure that your social media providers remove bad content. And what I mean by that, I mean about revenge porn, radicalization material, topless nudity. It's all the blame is being now moved on to the service providers, the Facebooks, the Twitters, which is a good move. There are a lot of problems with that. There's privacy issues involved. There's freedom of expression. Should you be able to see everything you want to see online? There's an argument, and I do understand. Staff are upskilling now. There are schemes, not just in England, around the world, for upskilling. It could be prompted by a hack from a student that's got media intention and realise there is an issue with cybersecurity in schools. It could be your local innovation hub giving upskilling teachers for cybersecurity. The kids are learning as well. They're not having to rely so much on school anymore. There's organisations that come into school. There's websites that have been made to offer training solutions for children that can't have access to the education in school as well. So that's something nice to think about. The next one is what I'm really passionate about, and the main reason I wanted to talk while I'm here. Being part of the solution. There's so many skilled professionals out there in the world that don't realise the problem. And I just wanted to highlight to you all that this is a problem, but you can do something about it. You can sign up through local schemes like the STEM Learning Advisors, where they will pay for your DBS. They will give you the money to do all the checks for you. They will put you in a network where you can go to school and volunteer your time. All free, doesn't cost you anything. You can't claim it back. You have the Cyber First scheme. A lovely bunch of people. I work with them myself that are trying to encourage more diverse talent into the world of cybersecurity, making girls-only competitions. Again, it doesn't solve the problem. The more people are aware of cybersecurity, the more girls are aware of cybersecurity, the less victims we will have. Cluster. There might be someone in your local cyber cluster trying to do something about it, organising volunteer works, organising training schemes to upskill people. Find your local community. There might be someone in your local community or online or whatever that's doing something to be part of the solution. You can be involved in that. Be the bucket. If the well's on fire, be the bucket. Sorry, that's still one. I didn't know if anyone had any questions or they wanted to talk outside, isn't whatever's easiest. That pal?
Hi, my name's Ian. I'm a computer science teacher. I've come here today to try and see a bit more about the world of cybersecurity. I have qualifications in computer science, which is unusual for people who teach computer science.
Correct.
But I don't have qualifications in cybersecurity or expertise in cybersecurity. So the very final part of your slides, you were saying about Bristol and Bath cluster.
Yeah.
Is that the best forum for me to reach people like these wonderful people to get ideas about how to engage with my students? I've got students up to the age of 18.
It's Bristol and Bath, right? Do you live in the local area, sorry?
Ethan, just down the M5.
So I'll connect you later on with the Cyber First team. I don't know if you have them come into your school.
No, we have done Cyber First a few years ago with the cohort of girls.
Yeah. So keep up with them. In terms of clusters and communities, there's so much power with who you know. You might have someone that's really interested or has someone that's working on groundbreaking subjects they want to share with your students. We really do need to do a better job at inspiring students. There is a problem with cybersecurity training and the fact that it is very boring. I was given, I'm not going to name any names, I was given a template to go to a school and deliver a training session, and it's all on cryptography. You're a computer science teacher. Oh, I can't stand maths. I'm terrible at maths. I hate maths. You don't have to be good at maths to be good at cybersecurity. So I made a little lock picking class, demonstrating dexterity, patience and perseverance. They're all skills that are needed in cybersecurity. You say you're not an expert in cybersecurity and you have no formal cybersecurity training. You kind of know that. You don't have to be an expert to help, though. I'm not an expert. I'm a full-time student, and I volunteer my time because if something is better than nothing. Thanks for your question, there.
Thank you, George.
First of all, awesome talk. I think you really do have a room full of people here that will be happy to come into schools and talk to people.
Brilliant.
I wanted to ask about your thoughts on, I think currently there's going through Parliament at the moment regarding a ban on encryption. What were your thoughts on that?
So yeah, you're referring to the signal on the WhatsApp groups. So yeah, this is the balance we have to have, though. That's planned. I should have asked you a question before, and like hello, sir. Well, I've gone past it already. No. Privacy. So that is a double-bladed sword. We do need to. There is a balancing act. I 100%. I sound cringe. Support encryption. I think everyone should have an access to privacy. I don't think you should weaponize, though. I don't think that the likes of Snapchat, where someone can be tricked into sending a nude picture, for example, and the predators are able to save that evidence, but then the victim has no evidence that they've been sent or they've been tricked, and that person can get away with that. So I think it's a very difficult question to answer. But I think we need to appreciate the security and the privacy of all the individuals, but we do need accountability, and that's the problem with encryption. You kind of remove a bit of accountability. You gain privacy, but you lose accountability. That's my own opinion. I've done no research in that, but yeah. Thanks for the question, though. Any others, or do I...
So I've got children, and I think we still got clear of devices. There's going to have to be a point in their sort of youth development that they get given these devices. You've not sort of suggested when you talk, there is no right answer. When's the right time to start letting them play on devices? When's the right time to step back and allow them to,
That's an excellent question, and I do want to approach that in my slides, but I love to answer your question. It depends. I know it's a stupid answer. It does depend. If you withheld the device, they are going to be left behind, unfortunately, in the digital world. There are so much fantastic tools out there. The technology can be used for wonderful stuff. You'll notice when I talked about the trends, I did mention about the educational apps, because they're not trending, unfortunately. So I'm not saying the technology is being misused, but it's not being encouraged in the way it could. As a parent, though, there are a lot of benefits for the children having access to this technology. It can help them with the homework. I'm really dyslexic, and I need Grammarly, I need spell checkers to make sure that I've not made a spelling mistake. There's probably a million in here, but I try to be kind of authentic with my issues. You can try and control them by setting parental guidance on them, but there's ways around that. iPhones, for example, you can put a parent lock on it. The kids are really smart, though. They're the future hackers. They're the future cybersecurity leaders. They are the change makers. So what are they doing? They're turning on screen recording before they give you the phone. So they're recording the passphrase before they give you the phone. They're changing the times on the phone. So, for example, you've put a parent lock, so after 6 p.m. it can't be used. They change the time to 4 o'clock. Little bypasses like that. These kids are ingenious. When I was doing my presentation about the lock picking, there was like all these wonderful girls just like figuring out straight away, not giving up. There's so much perseverance with the youth that any measure you put on them, other than just watching them, is not going to be enough. If there is a way, they will find it. They are the future hackers. I would stress that as a parent, you talk to them about the risks and the reward. It's a very cybersecurity question. It's risk management. Let them know that they can use this for good, but bad things, they do open the world to bad things. And it's not just from predators, it's other students as well. Some of the nastiest people in the world are our children. Well, can we delete that? But it's true. They can be the nastiest people in the world. And you have, questions?
I'm a parent of a 9 years old, and luckily he was exposed to technology early, 5 years. He was 5 years old. Luckily he used technology for the good, like learn new things, like YouTube, just technical stuff.
Yeah.
How can I get this? When I talk to other parents, they are afraid, like scared.
Yeah.
Oh, your son used technology. Yeah, but there is the area out there. But instead of blocking, they prefer ignore.
Yeah.
So how can you talk with those parents? Because I tried it. I did some cybersecurity certification. My son wanted to stay there and listen to the video. He's 9 years old, but he's learning something.
Yeah.
His teacher called us because he did shoulder surfing and say, no, your password is wrong. Sure.
So how can we talk to other parents to encourage them to let the kids use the technology and the devices?
They are scared,
Yeah.
but instead of tackle the problem, they prefer to know, take these tablets, so they're good, but I don't want to know what is there.
Much like the woman on the train, I imagine, I don't know, it's his tablet, how Visual Talk started. I think it's easy to bury your head in an ostrich. It's a really complex problem. Cybersecurity leaders now still can't solve this problem. The media is very good at scaring people, though. We hear all the bad stuff, and I listen to quite a lot of the bad stuff. We don't hear about the kids using Minecraft to program computers, building computers within a game. We don't hear about that at all. We don't use them like kids building their own apps, starting their own companies. We don't hear about that just as much as the negatives. It's a tricky question. You're doing a really good job, though. You're leading by example, encouraging your son to use technology in a good way. If we start hearing more stories like that, if there's a good positive change, the other parents might follow suit. But again, like the other gentleman over there, it's perfectly understandable to restrict the technology to the child.
Restrict is okay, but because he has a tablet and a laptop, like parents control DNS filtering for applications. So.
And that we approach that with the privacy. When would you read your child's diary? No. Would you put a tracking app in your child's phone? I guess it's a bit grey there, doesn't it?
Yeah, he has like a block, like parents control, like no adult content, no all the list of website blocked.
They're finding ways around that, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, did you have a question, sir?
Well, yeah, not really a question. Everyone's talking about children. I've got a bit over time. I would say that the best way of dealing with a child that's got if you put in a physical, you can't go past this barrier.
Yeah.
They're going to walk around it if they want to.
Yeah.
If you talk to them and say, "What are you doing?" You've got to, if you encourage them not to walk around the barrier, then you need to be a barrier. You need to talk to them and encourage them to be open and honest about what they're doing on their computer and how they're doing. They're going to keep secrets from them because that's how children work. But if they get scared and they come to you, you might say that, if they get scanned, the first thing you do is, I can talk to my parents about it, I know what's going on. You can reassure them. They need to talk to you about what they're doing online. You need to talk to them about what they're doing, and you need to not be ashamed of it.
Jack, we need to connect you with Ian because you sound like a future teacher, my friend. So you had a question?
Yes. In the kind of the extreme case, or extreme example, is the threat actor that was able to compromise Microsoft and Uber and Rockstar, who actually was born in Oxford, teenager, 17.
Yeah.
And what sort of recourse do parents take when a child is more skilled than them, the teachers, even the police, even Microsoft? What sort of actions should a parent do when they know the child reaches every step?
One thing I did want to put on my slide because it kind of contradiction or being recorded, so I'm going to make myself look good, was that there are some statistics where no offense, where the school kids know more about cybersecurity than the teachers. It's a common trend now. There's lots of cybersecurity in films that make it very sexy, very glamorous. They don't realise that they may be staring at a computer looking at logs for 8 hours. In terms of the ramification side of things you want to focus on?
Well, yeah, what sort of, if you're parents of that child, of the lapses member, there's pretty much nothing they could do other than just let them get into trouble and get arrested because he's just so determined and so skilled. Couldn't really stop him.
That's right.
But, that's the next 5 to 10 years potentially for actors in this country.
Exactly. Threat actors are getting younger and younger. We do see that trend, mainly because the information is more accessible out there. The main issue with that is, do the parents know what the child's getting up to? Again, I didn't want to include it because it's quite cringe. There was a cyber security poster by the police saying, if you have these icons, I don't know if anyone's seen that, have these icons on your computer, your son's or daughter's computer.
You store browser.
Yeah, if there's a Kali Linux picture, so they are aware of the problem. So the government are aware of the problem. Again, there's not much we can do about it. If a kid wants to do it, they want to do it. Is it good to fall? Would you not do it though? Would you not do it if you could get away with a crime, earn millions of pounds potentially, and face no jail time because you're just underage and hide in some bit locker around the world? Sorry.
Shoplifting, for instance, how do you teach your child not to do those things? They might.
Yeah, exactly.
They are good at it.
Cybersecurity is so transferable. If they're going to commit the crime, they're going to commit the crime. It's ethics and it's not for this talk.
Because the parent is the one that has the experience in life and how to do the right teach them the right things.
Parents.
One of the things I think, just following on from the guy over there, I think that case really went the wrong way in the end because the parents, when he got sort of caught by the police the first time and he was underage and they couldn't really prosecute him, parents didn't sort of really step in and do anything, and I think he's now serving a couple of years prison sentence a couple of years later because he kept repeat doing things and it's like, you're 18 now.
Sorry, Rebecca.
I think just to follow on exactly to that, I think it's because people, you're right, in media, cybersecurity is very sexy. A lot of the times you're seeing hacking, and I'm putting that very much in quotes, in TV, and it's there's always another crime that goes with it. If you're watching Law and Order, it's never just a hacker. It's like a hacker who has like blown up 3 things. I think the problem with your example is that the consequences don't seem real. I'm taught not to steal a car because no matter what age I am, I understand that that's going to put me, if I'm taught in front of a police officer and possibly going to jail. Cyber, because it's online, it's that more anonymous, so I don't think parents know how to actually put severity on the crime and make people understand that if you are doing it at 16 and 17, statutes of limitations, and they will make that case until you turn to 18 to prosecute you as an adult. I know it's happened. There's quite a few cases of that. So I think it's an education piece, but also from the parents, how do you scare the Jesus out of your kids for doing the wrong thing?
Ooh, that was deliberate. If they can get away with that if they can get away with that in the digital world and face no consequences, in-game scamming, and earn some GP, as we like to call it in the industry, why would they not do the same? Learn a bit of hacking, a bit of ransomware, and buy a car? They got away with it there. They got away with it in the real world as well. If you look at the statistics of cybercrime, it's a very attractive industry because they get away with it a lot.
There's a parallel made with shoplifting, and if you're good at shoplifting, you become a thief. But if you're good at cybersecurity, you can make it legal and become red tape.
True.
So why not encourage the child to use their abilities for good and make a ridiculous amount of money later on?
Well, and I'm with you 100%. That's why I taught a room of year 8 girls how to lockpick. I didn't want to teach them about that they can break into something. I want to teach them that the skills they're learning, the skills they know, the skills they possess can be used for good. We need to encourage that. We need ambassadors. We need volunteers to go to the schools and show these kids that they can earn a good wage. They can feel good about themselves at the end of the day, and they can progress in their careers. They don't have to go down the black hat route. Hello?
I was just thinking one potential way of, if the kid is caught with potentially they did pull the DDoS with a load cannon or something, or a load, not necessarily like the level of Lapsus, but they did some shenanigans with hacking. Why not? Maybe one thing we need to be doing is do better advertising of things like CTFs and point-to-own competitions and things, and the things that legitimize those skills and provide an avenue of saying, like, hey, these skills can be used for good that benefit, and show an opportunity of employment and ways that these are actually not crime.
That's a great mindset to have. We need to have a chat because you need to get that mindset into the classroom.
I already do that.
We need to copy you and put you in 10 million classrooms then. That's the kind of message, the ultimate message of this really is that cybersecurity is not a black and white world. There's lots of greys, and that there's no role models for these. I don't know a female cybersecurity hacker and role model, unfortunately. There need to be more of them, and they need to be engaging with the children. They need to be showing them right from wrong because the parents don't have the knowledge, the schools don't have the time, and there's no one to teach it.
So it's also, I guess, more community effort and stuff like that. Are there any countries that have better education formalized? Better examples to follow.
So, okay, Israel is very good. Israel teaches kids cybersecurity from a very, very young age. That's why they're so prominent. They encourage capture the flags, they encourage learning, they encourage hacking, they encourage competitions from a very young age. I'm not saying we should all go and copy what Israel's doing, but there are aspects where they're doing really well. I do find it quite weird though. I know this is always puzzled me. You see these happiness indexes around the world, like Norway is the most happy in this, and this country is the best at this. But no one wants to copy anyone else. Everyone wants to reinvent the wheel, and we're not doing a good enough job. There are our equivalent one is like the Cyber First scheme, and we got the young women can get bursaries to get into cybersecurity training. That's brilliant. That's a brilliant place to start. We need to go above and beyond. So to answer your question in a non-conclusive way, there are other countries doing a really good job, but we're not one of them. Pal?
Surely if we do too good of a job with this harm reduction stuff, then all our security does a good job.
Listen. When you're an old man, right, and the robots deciding what tube to put in where, you want to make sure that there's a good cybersecurity workforce. Good?
Right, awesome.
Thank you.